Hi, I'm Marcel James, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome back if you've watched some of my previous videos. I've taken probably a hiatus for a year or more, and over the past year, I've been getting more into music production and writing myself as opposed to only mastering. And one of the things I noticed over these productions was that I was using a lot less mastering processing on my own mixes, my own productions, even when I mix for other people, than when I master for other people. And it was pretty severe, the difference. I would use typically on the newest song that I just uploading right now. It's one of my own productions. It's a song called Sunlight Glow. In the next video, I'll probably play you a clip of it and break down some stuff and get into some more meat and potatoes of these lessons, I guess you'd call them. But basically, I was using 3 processors. And to be honest, not a lot of heavy lifting, like nothing real severe. So what I kind of realize is that I'm doing the mastering as I'm going. And these nuggets of things that I'm doing, I thought, wow, I should start sharing some of these and see if it helps people to tidy up their own mixes, their own productions. Because, after 15 years of mastering, you develop these instincts or these ears, I guess, and you start to apply it to what you're doing as you're working. And one of the things, the big thing that I noticed was addressing the source of each sound and just finding better sounds, finding a better bass, finding a better lead, finding better drums, getting the vocal right. That became more of an emphasis than I ever remember when I used to produce before. So clearly there's something going on there where I'm saying, okay, I want it to sound like this in the end, therefore it needs to do this and this. And that goes for background vocals and really everything. So it is interesting that a lot of people have asked me, what's your rate for mixing? What's your rate for mixing? So I guess some listeners and clients have ultimately started making that connection. And maybe mixing is something I'll get into ultimately more and more. But let's start out, addressing these mix production issues, and see what we can come up with to sort of make everybody better. I'm not advertising anybody here. This is just coffee with a Pultec mug that Greg Wells was kind enough to forget at a meeting one day. So it told me just keep it. But yeah, it is morning here, so I'm sipping a little Java. But so how do you fix the source? I'm going to go over one step today, which is to go through presets for a synth, for example. Stop your song. Typically what we do is we put the song on loop, and then we play a part, and we kind of thumb or finger, scroll through presets. And what I'm saying is, trust your brain, trust your instinct, and just stop the song. You already have played it several times. You're adding a part, so you already know your composition. And just go through the sounds individually without the song playing. Try it. If you're doing that already, great. If you maybe go back and forth a little bit, start to envision the song playing with that part. Because what I have been doing is just finding the sound, playing the parts, and then putting them on the song, and everything just fits. So usually, not always. You go back and you go do it again. But it usually works, at least on some level, in some degree. Then I can go back and say, too much mids, or I need to cut more lows. And then I can go fine tune the sound. Instead of what I've literally seen a lot of producers do is put a sound. I've seen this on tutorials. They put a sound on and they go, okay, it needs some of this. And so we start adding effects, adding effects, adding effects. My point is, why don't you find a sound that sounds like what you're going for if you need a specific effect, and that's, certainly a delay or whatever. But if you need it to make a certain sound, try and see if you could do it in the source, or at least find a source. If not, just make the sound all together. Use Avenger or something like that and make your own sound. Which I do a lot. I'll take a sound I like, load it in Avenger, and that's another tutorial because I do some tutorials for them, and then manipulate it in a way that makes it the sound you're going for. It's another way. It's a different kind of approach as opposed to stacking plugins, because you're still dealing with the sound at its source. And yes, Avenger, for example, has a bunch of different effects built into it, but you don't have to necessarily right away use those to get a lot of the sound, creation tools out of it. But it's just one example. It could be anything that you're using. So that's my first tip of hopefully many more going forward, to sort of shed some light on this disparity between using maybe 3 processes on my own thing and 10 processes on the typical master, because that's where I start out typically, is with 8 to 10 different I don't load any one of them too much. I don't do too much. I call it multi-layered processing, where I'm just doing a little bit with each processor. But definitely I use a lot, and I stack a lot of things when I'm mastering. So let's see where we can go with this, and try that tip. You want to continue to see these videos and keep up with me, please do. Either bookmark, everyone says subscribe, but you can bookmark, I don't care. But subscribe and click the notification if you want YouTube to kind of bump me up when there's a new video. So I appreciate you watching and look forward to seeing you soon.